Unlock my phone really quick. Yeah, I'm about to go to bed in probably like an hour or something. Because I'm trying to get some stuff done in the store right now. But yeah, I love you.
Me too, buddy.
And I'm going to talk to you soon. When's your
Uh,
break over? Huh, what you said, what?
so I'm gonna talk to you real soon.
All right.
Touch anytime.
I'm taking you off a speaker. All right, let me finish up this live and I'm gonna call you back. What did you say? You said what? Yeah, because I wanted to talk about something that I forgot to talk about. I know, right? I'm probably not gonna do another live for a little while. I gotta tell you something funny that happened today, though. Hello. It was so funny. Like I'm gonna tell you as soon as I. Well, when is I'm gonna tell you. Just give me tomorrow. I'll tell you in the morning. Give me till tomorrow. I can't talk about it right now. Right now. What did you say?
No, I was just talking about keeping my doors unlocked, so when I go back into when I go back into the whip, I could just, I could just, I could just throw the bitches in really quick.
Uh huh.
Cause we only got like 5 minutes left on our break.
Mhm. I was kind of wondering if I was trying to wait to see if I could have some people come in before I got started, but I might end up just getting started without them. It is like 4 o'clock in the morning though, and so it makes sense. Oh, okay, I need to go ahead and hit the. That's
Hey man, I'm gonna blow this little bowl really quick.
Mm-hmm.
See you in the morning, honey.
Okay.
I love you, babe. See you in the morning, babe.
All right. Love you too. Okay. So, ooh, I have like this thing covering the camera, but you can still see the light from my phone. So that's what it is. Anyways, I was kind of just talking while waiting on some people to come in, but it is like the wee hours of the morning, so I'm probably not going to have anybody coming in right now. But I promised I would do a video on workplace mobbing, gang stalking. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with gang stalking and workplace mobbing. And you might hear a little bit of typing in the background too, because I'm also getting some stuff done on my store. But so some of the things that I've experienced, I would probably say workplace mobbing started for me at a young age. I was like 16 years old when I found out I was being targeted in the workplace. Okay. And so, my experience at a young age was my coworkers just being really, really rude to me for no reason. And I've always had like a really good work ethic. So, and I've always, when I was younger, I used to do things to like try to please, my supervisor to show him that I am a hard worker and stuff like that. I need to take these pictures. I need to redo those product photos. Anyways, I would like, try to do things to please my supervisor to let him know, like, look, I'm a good worker, seeing I'm on time and I cover people's shift. And like, I was just like doing so much to try to like, doing so much to try to like, you know, please people. doing so much to try to, you know, to try to like make my supervisor see that I wasn't like who they thought I was. But it wasn't until I was like an adult when I realized that all of this treatment that I was getting in the workplace was intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like it's intentional. Now, the reason why I titled it Witches and Warlocks in the Workplace is because these people are what it is. Like there are some people who are spiritually gifted in the workplace. What's your inheritance? It is impossible. Like I don't even know why people be playing themselves like that. I'm sorry, you guys. I got so distracted. I might restart this stream one more time. Yeah, let me go ahead and restart it because it was so. No, I'm gonna keep going. I'm sorry. Like, excuse the conversation with me and my boyfriend in the beginning. Just, I'm probably gonna edit that part. But so as I got older, um, as I got older, what else did I experience? It was more like, I guess it was like the jobs that they didn't mind me doing. Like when I was working fast food, you know, I didn't have any issues in the workplace. I guess like if I worked a fast food job, they were fine with me and they didn't bother me because I was right where they wanted me. And it's crazy because at a young age, I was working at White Castle when I was like 17. And no, I was 18. I was 18 years old working at White Castle. And like they offered me a promotion, so I got promoted. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was like I got demoted because I was like really not taking my promotion seriously and I was kind of clowning on the job one day, which is totally understandable. Like I wasn't even really trying to be promoted. I was going through so much at that time. My dad just passed away, all types of stuff. Anyways, so I got promoted there and then I got demoted and then stuff didn't really start going left until I started working like desk jobs. You know what I'm saying? It was like I never really got bothered in the workplace until I started elevating like the type of jobs that I worked. So it's like my gang stalkers were fine with me if I was working jobs like Super America. When I was working at SA, nobody gang stalked me at work. Like me and my coworkers was cool. I used to smoke weed. Me and my coworkers would be in the back smoking. Mind you, this is when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Um it's like if I was in alignment with what my gang stalkers wanted me to do, they were fine with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't send people to bother me. So it's they even like I was even working two jobs. I was working at White Castle and Super America. And then I ended up quitting White Castle and then I started focusing on Super America. And then I ended up getting a job doing security at First Avenue in the 7th Street entry. So I was doing security and working at Super America. You know what I'm saying? And this is when I was 18. And so it's like when I was working all like those jobs, nobody was gang stalking me. So it was weird. Like that whole time, like nobody was really bothering me. I guess I was working the jobs that they felt like I should be working, basically. So it really wasn't until then. And then what happened? I ended up getting a job working at Sam's Club. And this was after I had my son. I was working at Arby's after I had my son or whatever. The one in like downtown St. Paul or whatever in like the Skyway. And my supervisor, he was like talking to me like he was just offering me the opportunity of a lifetime to have a position there at Arby's. I'm like, bro, like this job doesn't pay me enough. Like I'm only here until I get something better, you know? Anyways, so I didn't get gang stalked there either. So it's like it just seemed like when I would work fast food jobs, they would never ever bother me. You know what I'm saying? It's like they only bothered me when I would work, better jobs where I would actually have to use my mind. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, gang stalking really didn't start happening until maybe I started working at Sam's Club. Like all of my coworkers started to not like me after a while for like no reason. It was kind of weird energy. And so I ended up transferring to the Sam's Club in Bloomington where it was still like weird. Like some of my coworkers would kind of like test me and try me and I'm like, all right. And so after that I ended up getting hired at Aldi, which was better, which was at the time, like during like those years, like $15 an hour wasn't horrible, and getting $16 an hour was kind of like better, this was way back in the day. And so like I was working at Aldi, and that's when the targeting like really kind of revved up for me. Aldi, for those who don't know what Aldi is like a grocery store. And I low key kind of manifested it because I was dating this guy named Antonio at the time, and me and him were walking down Lake Street, and I saw the Aldi on Lake Street by like this Savers, and I pointed at it and I said, I'm gonna work there soon. And he was like, "What?" I'm like, "That's gonna be my next job." And lo and behold, I got hired like literally a month and a half later. And so I was like really excited, but it was just like as soon as I started working there, it was like drama. You know what I'm saying? Like the supervisor just started being really mean to me for no reason. And I liked her. I thought she was really dope. But, she just started being really rude. And then another girl, uh something Davis, I forgot her name, but she was another manager there, and she just kept picking on me and just being really mean to me and all the other stuff. And I was just irritated with her too. And so I asked them to transfer me to like a new store. And I lived in St. Louis Park, but I was traveling all the way to South Minneapolis every day to go to work. And I didn't even have no license, y'all. I'm over here just driving my car. Like it was just, I was licensed. I was always insured, but I didn't even have no license at that time. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I should, transfer somewhere closer since I don't have my license. And so I ended up getting transferred to the Aldi in Minnetonka. And honey, like the gang stalking really, really revved up there. And it's like this whole time, I just kept, and I noticed that it was like a trend. Like it started from Sam's Club. Like I had to transfer to from the Sam's Club in St. Louis Park to the Sam's Club in Bloomington because, all of my coworkers was on trash with me there. And then like I moved to the one in Bloomington, and all of my coworkers were on trash with me there too. Like I had to square up with with one of the employees there, and everybody was trying to calm me down because they thought I was gonna drag the girl, and they're like, "It's not even worth it." Like I was so young, but I was really, really stressed out because I'm like a new mom, and it's just me. I was a single mom, so it's like I was getting really annoyed because I kept having to go from job to job and transfer from store to store. And all I wanted to do was provide for my son, so I didn't understand what was going on at the time. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is really stressing me out. And then I noticed the same pattern when I started working at, at Aldi. I'm being transferred from store to store. So I got transferred from the from Lake Street to the Aldi to Minnetonka. And then like I started getting targeted at the Minnetonka store, and I started getting irritated. So I said, look, I gave them some bullcrap reason as to why I needed to transfer. I think at that time I lied to them. I must have said like I'm moving to St. Paul or something. And Like St. Paul was way worse. I almost felt like I it was a mistake to travel to the St. Paul Aldi. I ended up getting transferred to the Aldi in St. Paul, like off of University. And that was where I quit because then they started targeting me there, and it was just so ghetto and ratchet, and it was just too much. Like I was done at that point. I was done. Like they were way worse. What they were doing at the one in St. Paul was they were sending like their family into the store to purposely find a problem with me just so that they can complain to the supervisor about it. And that's when I was like, you know what? And then like even the manager, he made sure it was like me and him alone in the hallway. And he was like, he was saying, well, I don't want her at my store either. So why is she being transferred here? Like he would say stuff like that while I'm standing there. And I would just remember like being a single mom, I would just cry. Like I was so stressed and distraught about what I was dealing with workplace mobbing when I was just a single mom and just like really young. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand what was happening. I thought it was me. Like I really thought I was the problem. You know what I'm saying? So I went to talk to a psychiatrist. I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. Am I just like a negative force? Like what is the problem? Like am I the problem? And so I was just like, I went and talked to a therapist, and I was like crying and crying, and they decided to put me on like Adderall and like a antidepressant. And so what was crazy about it was even after they put me on the antidepressant, I would still go to work, and I would feel so happy because I was on the antidepressant. Like there was literally nothing that can piss me off while I was on this medication. I kid you guys not. And I felt like I was a robot or some sort of zombie. Like I could have been at a funeral and it could have been like the saddest situation, but I was like so happy all the time. But even like when I would go to work, you know what I'm saying? Like even sometimes, even while I'm on the meds, I would go to work and they would still find some way to make me feel low or to like try to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, like that's why when people they get so upset with me if they can't hurt my feelings, but they don't understand. Like I have literally been getting like gang stalked and targeted since I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I'm just now realizing that it's intentional. And so that's the difference. Before I'm out here thinking like I'm the problem everywhere I go. Like I just attract negativity. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that all of this stuff is really intentional, And so I ended up leaving Aldi, and I went through a temp service. And through that temp service, I got this job working for a marketing firm, and it just felt so good to get outside of like retail, like just it sucked because that's when I started putting on weight. Because when I was working at Aldi and Sam's Club, and all them jobs where you got to stand up and move around, like my body was like, okay, like I snapped back really fast when I had my first kid because I was always like walking and moving around. But then I ended up getting this desk job, and that's when the gang stalking they just really went in on me like super heavy. And the reason why I titled it Witches and Warlocks in the Workplace is because there are real life witches. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy. Lynn, I can't say her last name, but her name was Lynn. She was the owner of the marketing firm that I worked for. And like she was just such a sweet old woman, and she didn't even look old. She was like physically fit. She was elderly, but she was physically fit. The girl was walking faster than me in the hallway. And I had even commented on that one day. I think I told him like, dang, like you walking fast and you older, but she was just so fit and chipper. And, you can tell she was Republican. Like she had the pearl necklace, the blonde hair, the red lipstick, blue eyes, real Republican energy. Okay. Anyways, not that Republican or Democrat matters because it don't. Like they're all on the same team to me. But anyways, um, so long story short, um, Lynn, when I had ended up getting hired on at the marketing firm because I was going through a temp service. And I think the guy that ended up hiring me, he was contracted with the company, and I low key feel like they were pissed off that he hired me. The dude that got me hired, his name was Jay, and I remember him saying his wife worked for the FBI. Mm, that's crazy. This all starting to tie in together. It's so weird. Anyways, so he ended up getting me hired at the marketing firm. So I got hired on as a recruiter. And I did my job so well that it pissed them off that they could not find error in my work because that's what they would try to do. Like they kept, and I was the only black girl in the office. It's like an office of like maybe like 9 of us, and I'm like the only black person. And like they could not find anything wrong with my job. They're like, wow, this chick is really doing, like, yeah, I was really doing it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so there's this, so they started just throwing like little subliminal messages, and Lynn's daughter called me a stupid nigger. Like when it was just me and her alone in the office, she walks past me behind me, she goes, stupid nigger. And I could, obviously I wasn't gonna say anything because I was at that time just like, wow, like I was still a single mom, and I had like I was doing very well though. Like I had a 2-bedroom apartment in the suburbs. I had my own car, you know what I'm saying? I had that job at the marketing firm. I was doing so good. And that's what, and so I was really stressed out. And then me and my boyfriend that I'm with now, we met back in 2000 we started dating back in 2015, and we have a child together. And that's when him and I started dating. He kind of met me while I was like transitioning from that recruiter position. I ended up finding a new job out in Hopkins, Minnesota, doing some call center work. And I believe I ended up going back to that marketing firm, and then I ended up going back to retail, ended up going back to Target or something. Zoe Jameson, I saw your comment, my love. Yeah, I definitely understand what you're talking about. But this is where it really gets interesting. Okay. So Target, when I started working at Target after I left the marketing firm, I went back to retail, which was like a hit on my ego because I was just really, really excited about, just having, a desk job. Um, like they didn't bother me anymore. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like left me alone. Like, so it was like I just felt like they wanted me to stay working like these retail jobs where I'm like, slaving extra hard, you know what I'm saying? Which is not bad because it's good for your body. I feel like I've lost so much weight working retail jobs. But what happened after that? Where did I even go after that? Oh yeah, so I ended up being a stay-at-home mom because I had got pregnant, and it was like I was having like bladder issues with my stomach, and I just like I was just going through a lot physically. So my son's dad ended up taking on all of the responsibility of like the bills and the groceries and all the other stuff, and I just kind of stayed home and like took care of the house and grew my baby and took care of my son. And so and it kind of felt, it was nice to do that because with my first son I was a single mom, so I didn't get the opportunity to sit at home. And it's like I had to go back to work literally 2 weeks after I gave birth to my son. So after I got pregnant with my second son, it was like nice to just, feel what it was like to be, catered to and have a man, work while you stay at home with the kids. Like it was just the best. Man, I'm telling you, it was like the best thing ever to me. And it was a nice break from, being gang stalked in the workplace or whatever. So, but anyways, after I had my son, I ended up going back to work. We ended up moving back to South Minneapolis because at this time we had moved from St. Louis Park to the north side. I was pregnant, living off of 24th and Logan. Never again. Okay, like I'm not gonna say never. Never say never. I might. The Most High, if He wanted me to move back to the north side, then I would. But, but like uh, it was just a horrible experience for me. I did not want to live over north. Anyways, we ended up finding a place over in South Minneapolis, which was worse. The place over north was actually way better. It was more space, and like we didn't have to deal with no irritating neighbors or nothing like that. But I ended up getting this job working from home through a company, like a sister company of Staples, right? And it's like this office supply company. And you know, when I had to take the bus to go to at this time I didn't have a car. I had to take the bus to go to Arden Hills for like 2 weeks for training. And I kid you not, during the whole 2 weeks, the supervisor was being such a B word to me. That's why I'm a little annoyed about Monday because I have to go in office to go to work. And I already just know that it's gonna be, I'm not nervous, but I'm annoyed because I already know it's gonna be some BS when I get there. Like I just already know. So I'm like preparing my mind and my spirit for, the gang stalking in the workplace that I'm gonna have to endure because I'm gonna have to go in office. But I guess it's only for like 3 to 5 days. And so I'm gonna have to just roll my eyes and ignore for like 3 to 5 days next week. And then yeah. But anyways, long story short, um what was I saying? So like I endured the targeting for 2 weeks, but and it was just so annoying because it's like I had to take this super long bus ride from South Minneapolis all the way to Arden Hills. So I had to get up extra like 5 something in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And be outside by like 6 something every single morning just to go get targeted. And it was like the winter time, so it was like freezing cold outside. I was already annoyed, but what she would do is like she would just like, I don't know, like cut me off while I was talking, make like little slick comments, snide remarks. You know what I'm saying? She was the trainer. And that's kind of also another pattern I've noticed. It's like they prep the trainer to mess with you. So that's what I'm glad that I'm going through this because this is letting me know what I need to, always look out for is always look out for the trainer. Because the trainer is going to be the one, that's going to target you the most. Every job you go to is going to be the trainer. Like they always put the trainer on game, and they always like kind of groom the trainer to like somehow like try to make you mad or something. All of this stuff is really kind of starting to piece together as I'm talking about it. But anyways, so the trainer at Arden Hills, she would just like say like a whole bunch of negative stuff to me all the time. And people were kind of catching on to it. Like you can tell she was low key kind of racist. And so I said something to low key kind of piss her off because I knew she was racist. And I was being really, really petty. And I didn't have the Most High with me at the time. Or he was with me, but I wasn't, in Christ. And so I would say things like, so is your supervisor African American? And she was like, yeah, she's colored. She didn't call her black or African. She was like, she called her colored. Like, I don't know. She hated that. Like, she hated that so much because somebody above her, it was somebody that she didn't like because of their color of their skin. She was racist, y'all. So I ended up getting promoted at this company, like this office supply company, right? And I got promoted 3 times. It's called Quill.com, but like it's a sister company of Staples. But I ended up getting promoted 3 times. Okay, I got promoted, no, twice in 1 year. I'm sorry. I got promoted to customer service, and then I got promoted to high touch, which is right underneath like the account manager. It's like an assistant to like an account manager. All I was doing was pre-approving net 30 accounts for business owners and other stuff like that. Anyways, so I guess I started getting gang stock like super heavy when I was working there, and it just kind of made me sad because I had just upgraded my home, my living situation, because I kept getting promoted. So I'm like, okay, so I'm getting more money, so it's time to upgrade, you know. So I ended up moving from that janky apartment to like this beautiful house in like Robbinsdale, you know. And so I was just getting targeted like crazy at the workplace. And I'm just like, dude, we just got this beautiful crib. Our rent was like 1,400 a month. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I need to come up on some money fast. Like, and so I was like pushing Diosa like super heavy, like just going hard, trying to get my store perfect. You know, I had a website called Diosa Edition. Um, and I was just pushing deals to like extra hard, like just pushing, 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 pushing. Like, dude, this store needs to blow up, like, so I can quit my job. It was the gang stalking in the workplace that like pushed me to work that hard, you know? And then one day, like, I just woke up to like a whole bunch of sales just like flooding in. And what happened was I had joined the Facebook Marketplace beta, like while it was in beta, so it wasn't available to the public. So I was one of the first businesses that got to, you know, put their business on a Facebook Marketplace platform before it went public. And so they were testing out their, you know, platform on my store amongst other stores. Anyways, and so I just started getting a bunch of sales rolling in, you know, and I ended up quitting my job. And I'm low key did kind of rub it in my supervisor's face because one day she came and like picked up the computers, you know, that I had while I was working from home. And I was like, yeah, like, look at my sales. And I showed her, and I remember it saying 800. It was like early that morning, and I already had made $800 in sales. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, she was just like not really looking too happy for me. She looked so annoyed because I quit on such short notice. I just quit. I was just done because it was like my coworkers just kept like just trying me. And it was just kind of weird because I was working from home, but they still found some way to target me while I was working from home. So basically, if I had like an issue, if I needed help finding something or locating something, I would call the help desk, and the help desk would be like, why are you calling us? Did you even try to look for it? Like this, and that. And so I'm like, you know what? I started reporting them and everything, and none of that worked. Like none of that worked at all. Anyways, I had my spiritual awakening January 2019. Right. Like, and it sucks because it happened like soon as my business took off. It happened as soon as my store took off. It was so heartbreaking. Like, seriously. I couldn't even focus on anything. Plus, I had people online. And then at that time, I was like spiritually bankrupt. I didn't even have Christ, no wisdom, no nothing. I'm just like one of these 2/3 out here. You know what I'm saying? Just like, just completely spiritually bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all these people, like they're doing now, you know, starting to, they started slandering me on social media, which is so funny because they tried to do it a second time. You know, when they saw that I started my new store, all this, like literally the same exact people that came against me the first time started coming against me, are still coming against me this time around. But the Bible says affliction will not rise a second time. And so the Most High is not letting it stand this time like how it stood the first time. But anyways, long story short, like I didn't understand why people were dragging me so hard on social media like that. But their goal was to block me and stop me. And they were one. When I say these people's 100% successful in what they did just what they set out to do. And that's why I made it a point to not allow it to happen again. Because after I allowed it to happen the first time, me and my children went completely broke. Like I had to watch my children suffer because I gave up because of what somebody was saying and thinking about me online. And I vowed never ever, as long as this person is not paying my bills or providing for my children, I will never ever allow something like that to happen to my kids ever again. I don't care if someone came up with the nastiest lie on earth about me. That's not going to stop me from moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like just having to watch my kids go without because I allowed what somebody thought of me to block me, you know what I'm saying, or stop my children from living a good life. Never again will I ever. You guys are going, matter of fact, to all of my haters, you guys are going to have to slander me to the ends of God's green earth because I kid you not, I will never stop doing what I need to do to provide for my children. And as you slander me, may every word that you speak over me be casted upon your own life. I declare that. Okay? Anyways, so I'm telling you, like all these people, all this evil that y'all wish upon me is gonna come right back to you. Like that is a spiritual law. Like I declare that you fall into your own trap in the name of Jesus, according to the book of Psalms. Anyways, so it was like we underwent like this huge like storm where we just started losing everything, like everything. We started losing everything. And I tried, and so I ended up going back to work before we ended up moving. And I noticed that I had a supervisor, like they saw me, like they saw who I was. And I didn't understand like what they were looking at, but they just kept staring at me. And I later found out that it was my light that they were staring at. And some guy was like looking at me. He pointed to at me to another guy, like, "What's going on with this?" And then they kind of like he whispered in his ear about me or something. And I guess that they had just saw that I had just woke up spiritually. And so they would send people to like throw stuff over my head, to put like, kind of like shuffle things around me to try to get a rise out of me, or kind of make me mad. And this is how these people got me to quit, right? They sent everybody on break early, so I went out a different way. And so they pushed everybody back in the building. And then when I came back from break, they're like, "Oh, we decided to change the break time. We pushed everybody back in the building." I was like, oh, "Okay." They're like, "Where were you?" I was like, "Oh, I went out the other way and actually went on break because I didn't know you guys were sending us back in the building." And then they're like, "Oh, I was like, should I just go home?" They're like, "Yeah, you should probably just go home." I'm like, "All right." And I did not go back there. Anyways, I ended up moving to Florida. I ended up getting a job at at a fast food restaurant while I was living with my aunt, and the gang stalking there was heavy too. Like my coworkers were pissing me off like every day, and I just wanted to scream because all I wanted to do was have money for my kids. You know what I'm saying? And they just kept poking and poking and poking. And so the Holy Spirit was just like, just remain calm, just remain calm. I kid you not, you guys. Like these people, some people lose their life for coming against Yah's chosen. I'm telling you, like these people are going to suffer greatly for the things that they do to us in the workplace, and some of them are going to suffer greatly just for having their name in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, I'm telling you, I kid you not, the spells that people cast on the chosen, it always goes right back to them. I know somebody who's in debt right now just because they won't stop casting spells on my life. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. That's like really going through it because they keep spending their money on casting spells. They're going to go broke completely casting spells on my life. Like for real. That's what the Holy Spirit told me. He spoke to me through a messenger. It was like, yeah, like this person wants to keep casting spells on your life. They're gonna go broke. But anyways, I'm gonna keep going. So I ended up coming back to Minnesota. I ended up getting a job at what was it called? It was a health insurance company called Medica, right? And yeah, and it was through a temp service, but like, don't get me wrong, Medica is a good company to work for, but the gang stalking was just. This is how I had my first warlock experience. I really, really feel like this was it. Buddy literally started reading me my future, like telling me about like my health conditions, health concerns, you know what I'm saying? He was telling me about how much money this was going to make if I did this and how much money this was going to make if I did that. You know what I'm saying? And like just telling me like I'm a failure, drawing angels on my notebook to let me know like, oh, we know who you are, we know you're an angel. You know what I'm saying? Just like saying like a whole bunch of crazy stuff to me, like just like on some warlock stuff. And it was like there were some of my coworkers that didn't really know what was going on. They were just there to, and then there were some coworkers who were in on my targeting. Like I noticed that they recruited the only other black girl in the office besides myself. And so it's like she was totally in on everything that was going on. And that's why they sent her to try to be all cool with me because we black, so we supposed to be cool, like, honey, I don't look. I don't socialize with nobody, black, white, green, or blue. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, so I ended up I was so distracted by that guy because I was just like, this guy's really over here trying to read me my future, telling me how much this project is gonna make and how I'm gonna fail at this and how this is gonna be successful and how then he started telling me, I guess he was so jealous of my future that he started talking about the things that he wants to do for his life. And I'm like, buddy, just teach me the job. Like, you know, I literally didn't even make it past training. Like I was so annoyed with the damn trainer. And that's where I fell short because I needed that job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know why I just couldn't ignore him. But I really did need that job because at the time I had just moved, from Florida back to Minnesota. And so I needed my own place. And so we were living in a shelter at the time, and I was just really, really distraught because at the time I was struggling so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I really didn't feel like being bothered. I just wanted to work. And moving from Florida, it's like at that time I was getting paid $17 an hour. And when I was living in Florida, I was literally getting change. Like they were only paying me like $9 an hour. So to jump from $9 an hour to $17 an hour was like a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up losing that position because of the targeting. Like it was unbearable. Mind you, I was in the middle of my awakening. So I'm like my gifts are being completely unlocked at this time. I don't even know how to navigate my spiritual gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, God, what is this? Why am I seeing this? Why am I able to see, into the realm of the spirit? Like, why am I able to hear certain things? Like, what is happening to me? All this stuff is happening while I'm trying to work a job, while I'm trying to restabilize my life. Me and my boyfriend just broke up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm living in the shelter and he living with a friend. You know what I'm saying? We're both trying to get our lives together separately. So we were just going through a lot. It was just such a mess at that time, you know. Um Eventually we ended up getting a 2-bedroom apartment, and so everything all came together eventually, but it was like such a struggle bus. Like we were really struggling. And it's like these same people, it's like the people in the background, like all my enemies, they were just the whole time, all these years, they've been monitoring me. And I didn't just realize it until this year, but these people have been watching my every move. And it's like they never ever, they didn't bother me as long as when they looked into my life, they would see that I'm not doing anything or if I wasn't doing well. Like if I'm not doing well, they don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not doing well, then they don't talk about me. They leave me alone. They don't pay me no mind. But as soon as I start trying to like make something of myself or start my own business or something, then here come the gatekeepers trying to block me, stop me, talk about me on social media, create false beefs with me. You know what I'm saying? It's people on social media that like I have never met, I've never spoken to, I've never desired to have a friendship with because I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? But they keep trying to create some sort of false beef or some sort of, false narrative about me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. They like force themselves on us like when we don't want nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just so weird. But that's what they do. They like force if you don't have a positive relationship with them, then they'll create some sort of negative, toxic like beef with you. But I'm going into like this whole it's just weird. Like that's the reason why I'm finna just like social media is so annoying, like for real. Like earlier today I'm not even finna go. I'm not even finna go there. Anyways, so that's what that was. Like it was just like I was dealing with like warlocks and witches in the workplace. Shoot. That dude was a straight warlock. He was like blatantly disrespecting me in front of the whole class. I was so mad at myself when I allowed him to, kind of mess with my money like that. That lets me know at that time I wasn't like mentally or spiritually mature enough. But I'm giving myself grace because I was just my spiritual gifts were like unlocking at that time, and I was just seeing and getting revelations about stuff, and like it was just like also new to me, So I was going through a lot. It was a lot, you guys. Oh my gosh. 2019 was a rough year for your girl. I'm telling you, like it was a rough year for me. Um so after that, I completely detached myself from jobs and I just decided to start my own businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like I have three businesses that I own, four of them, but one of them I'm putting all of my energy into, and the other three I have actually two of them that I'm putting my energy into. And then the other two I kind of have on hold right now because it's literally only one me and I want to make sure I get one of these established before I hop to the next one. So I'm just doing one thing at a time because if I try to do all of them, then I'm gonna drive myself crazy. I'm a mother, so I need to be like present too. But anyways, so I started, a graphic design company. Um and that actually did really good. I'm not gonna lie. Like it did really okay. A lot of people liked my professionalism and they loved their work in the end. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty deep. It says Taylor Roseman, hey, I made another live, rewinding it back to watch from the beginning. Been waiting on this since you posted. Hey, I'm glad that you guys were excited about watching this live, but I just kind of hope that, hearing this story, it kind of like hits on maybe you guys like identify with some of the stuff that I went through, you know. And so honestly, I've completely detached myself from jobs. And so what I did was I just started working through like temp services. And it pissed off my gang stalkers because I remember I had an interview. She said Me Too is really hitting home. My goodness, I had an interview at this car insurance company or this insurance company called State Farm. And one of the ladies there, she was annoyed with me. She's like, why wouldn't she was I knew she was a gang stalker because why would you ask me this question? You know what I'm saying? She was like, so why are you only working for temp services? How come you don't want to get a regular job? Like how come you don't want to just work at a company and be stable somewhere? I was like, and I knew she was asking me this because she wanted me to say, well, it's because I'm getting gang stalked. So that's the reason why I have to go from place to place. But I didn't reply like that. I was like, well, I personally like, working through temp services because when I need to take some time off, I'm free to do so. And I have control over my life and my time. And she didn't like that answer. She wanted me to, be like, oh, well, it's because every job I go to, they bother me and they, like she wanted me to cry and I was not finna cry. Like, no. I'm like, no. Anyways, so I ended up not getting that job because she was really, really annoyed with me because I didn't cry about being gang stalked. I don't really want pity from anybody. Like, I'm not gonna whine or cry about it. I'm gonna thug it out. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up starting. I signed up for like pretty much every temp service that I can think of, possibly. Even the ones that I've worked at in the past. And it's so crazy because like they literally like started sending perps to follow me from workplace to workplace to workplace to workplace to workplace to workplace. And I know I'm like, but you know what I used to always think, by the time these people are done following me from job to job to job to job all over Minnesota, I'm going to be famous here because everyone's going to know me from being paid to get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? And so I knew that it was really pissing them off that when like and honestly I would stay at the job even if I know I'm being gang stalked. I would stay there until I felt like, okay, I'm getting annoyed, I'm finna go to a new one. You know what I'm saying? Like I had this job working at UPS, doing sorting, and I kind of liked that because even though you weren't supposed to wear your headphones, I would wear my head wrap to work. I love that I didn't have to get dolled up sometimes. So I just put on my Erica Badu rag and put my wireless earbuds in and be listening to YouTube videos while I was working my whole shift. So that made the day go by super fast. So I love doing that. But they started sending all my coworkers to start targeting me and just like looking at me sideways, trying to make me feel some type of way. That was just really weird energy. Anyways, so I quit working there. I was like, I'm not going to keep dealing with that. You know, it was just like every place that I went to, it was always something. I got this job at Dunbar in Brooklyn Park through another temp service, and my coworkers were targeting me there too. And I'm just like, all right. So, and it's just like it got to a point where I just wasn't really interested in working at any of those places. And so it's like they don't understand though. Like when they gang stalk you in the workplace, it kind of forces you to want to go hard on something that they can't take from you, like your own business. You know what I'm saying? Or like other projects that I can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? And so they, it's like I don't know. Like they think that they're hurting you, but they're low key kind of doing us a favor. Cause if it wasn't for gang stalking, honestly, low key, I loved working at Quill. I loved how I kept getting promoted. I knew my job so well. If they did not gang stalk me at Quill, I'd probably still be there. And it was because I loved my job and I did it so well. I went to push my first business the way that I did, or work this hard on it the way that I was working on it, had they not targeted me. And so I kind of use gang stalking in the workplace as like fuel, as like motivation to like, keep going and keep doing better so that I can be successful. You know what I'm saying? In business or like whatever, so I can like continue to push, towards my goals or getting my own business going. The Most High wants us out of bondage. He wants us out of slavery. So Like, if there's something that you're good at and you can find some way to make money off of it, I definitely encourage you to do that. Even if it's just talking to people, hop on TikTok and make some people laugh. You know what I'm saying? Or talk about something, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to talk about, like that's pretty much all I've been dealing with as far as like workplace mobbing. It's something that's just been happening since I was a kid. Gang stalking and targeting, that's been happening since I was a kid too. That's why people are like, why doesn't it get on your nerves as much? Is because I've had to endure this since my dad died when I was 17. You know what I'm saying? None of this was really happening too much. It really started happening after my dad passed away. My stepdad. He took care of me. Like my mom wasn't around and my biological father wasn't around, so my stepdad took me in. And so yeah, after he died, I was just out here by myself. That's so crazy. Like last night I was literally just laying in my bed and I had tears rolling down my eyes just kind of thinking about how much I miss my stepdad, dude. Like he took care of me since I was like 3, really, He's always like been a big part of my life, so he was like my real dad. But yeah, he died and like I was crying about it last night cuz that was like the honestly when you're gang stalked, even your own family turns on you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I was up just thinking like, man, who did I have in my life that really loved me unconditionally? Like and would never do anything like that to me. And I just thought about Woody, which is my stepdad's name. He would have never done any of the things that my family's doing to me now. You know what I'm saying? And so I just kind of just I shed a few tears last night thinking about him. Like I just really, really, really feel like I took his presence for granted, and I really, really miss Woody so much. But anyways, I should post it. I think I'm gonna make a picture of me and my dad as like the cover or as like the cover photo or something for this video so you guys can see him. He was like this tall German dude. His whole family did not like me because I was black and he was German. They didn't understand why he was raising a black daughter. He had some friends who just thought it was weird that his daughter was black, and he would try to do things like send me to like all black schools, like predominantly black schools, but it would be weird because when he would come to like parent teacher meetings and stuff like that, all of my friends would like laugh at me and say my dad looks like Mr. Clean and all like it used to piss me off, bro. I used to get so mad. like, and they would laugh at me because they're like, oh, you talk like your dad. And, it was so much. But yeah, I was raised by a white man. I don't care. Yeah. Anyways, but he was a good man. And, I was just thinking about like how he would have never like done the things that my family has done to me. And so I was just crying thinking about him last night. Like I miss my dad so much. Oh my gosh. I will literally start crying right now. Anyways, life is just absolutely insane. You just have to endure. My advice for people that are dealing with gang stalking in the workplace, let me tell you, if you just feel like you need to quit, start looking for another job. You know what I'm saying? And I would also record what they're doing to you. If you can record somebody enough and just so you can get some really, really good footage of what they're doing and you want to you want to file a civil suit, do that. I highly encourage like recording people when they're acting up. You know what I'm saying? But what these people like to do is they've gotten very, very smart. They like to spiritually attack you so that you can't necessarily like do anything about it because they're talking about personal things that only you and them would know about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you, you know, take somebody to court that's spiritually attacking you? I was just saying something about this the other day. It was crazy. I was talking about how I wanted this guy to just leave me alone because it was somebody I was chopping it up with spiritually. Like it was like some sort of weird spiritual. It was my first courting experience. My first spirit. It was somebody that was trying to pursue me spiritually, right? And like I decided to cut ties from him and that group of people that I used to deal or I was trying to deal with back in the day. But like I cut ties with him and that group. And so I just felt like he wasn't trying to let me go spiritually. And it's just like I was just thinking like, dang, like how do you file a spiritual restraining order? And then I just heard just now the Holy Spirit was like, you plead the blood of Jesus over it. That's so crazy. But yeah, like it's crazy. Like when I was younger, the workplace mobbing when I was 18, workplace mobbing had me thinking that I was the problem. Like it's me. Like every job that I work, I have to transfer to a new store, and every store I transferred to, I transferred stores a total of I believe 7 times or 5 times. Yep, because I transferred from one Sam's Club to another and they still didn't like me. And then I transferred to 3 different Aldi stores and they still didn't like me. I tried transferring so I can keep my job within that company long enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like I tried medication, Adderall, antidepressants, like what was wrong with me? And had not the Most High woke me up and showed me that I was not the problem and that all of what these people are doing is intentional, I probably would still be on antidepressants trying to figure out what's going on. If this video, I don't know why the Most High prompted me to do this video, but he wanted me to comfort somebody and let you know that you're not alone in what you're going through. We are literally all going through workplace mobbing. And let me tell you something, they're going to continue to spiritually attack you. But here's the thing, have you ever played a game called Dead Arm with like a sibling? Like this is a game me and my brother used to play. I think it's like I don't know which one. I got 2 of them. One in Florida. I think it's my brother Joseph. Like I would punch him, or he would punch me in my arm over and over, and he would punch me so much till my arm got like felt numb. That's why we called it dead arm. And it's like when somebody punches you in the same spot over and over, you don't really feel it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been hit so many times. What has to happen is you have to continue to endure these spiritual attacks so that you can grow stronger. Okay? It's gonna hurt a few times. Like honestly, I'm nowhere mentally where I was back in 2013. 2013 me, oh my gosh, I was a wreck. I was a mess. I couldn't endure. I didn't know, like I was still trying to people please. Like, what did I do wrong? Can I fix it? Like, oh my gosh, I was such a mess, honey. But me now, I'm gonna like, oh no, like I completely forgot the job where I work. I had a job last year, and I'm gonna tell you something. Don't do this either. I had a job last year where I thought, and my spirit, like, the Most High be telling me stuff ahead of time. Sometimes I be hard headed, and I'll still do what I want to do. I had this job that paid like $24 an hour, working for Metro Plains Property Management. Okay, and so like this company was like it was like well known all around the Twin Cities or whatever, and for like anyways, um, I had this girl I was working in the office with, and everyone told me not to trust her. Like my spirit was telling me not to trust her. The Most High was sending me messages, saying, don't trust her. But this girl was buying me lunch for my birthday, like we would go out to lunch every day and talk. She would talk about the other employees that was treating her bad, just trying to identify with me. And that whole thing was a setup. This girl knew the same people that had been trashing me since 2019. She was affiliated with the same group of people that caused me to quit my first business. That is absolutely insane. She tried to set people up to work with me that were also affiliated with that same group of people. You know what I'm saying? So she was like trying to get me to mix in with these people that I don't want to be bothered with, you know? Anyways, long story short, like everything I had told her basically hit the internet. Not everything. I feel like a lot of the stories that she said was really mixed up. She's mixing the truth with the lie. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of the stuff that I was telling her, it hit social media. So I guess I'm saying that to say this. When you go to work, don't be like me. Like when you go to work, just go there and go do your job. Don't make friends with anybody. I don't care if they buying you lunch. I don't care if they're offering you rides, like whatever. Just do not be friends with nobody. And that's literally my plan. Like I don't plan on being friends with anyone. I had an interview for this company called Coloplast. It's like some medical supplies company probably a few months ago or like a month and a half, 2 months ago. And they were like so like big on trying to get you to he was like, how are you gonna establish relationships with your coworkers? In my mind, I'm like, I don't care about Jeff or Nancy. I'm here to get a check. I don't want to establish a relationship with Ashley or Carol. You know what I'm saying? No offense, Ash. I just gotta throw that name out there. But I don't want to establish a relationship with Casey or JoJo. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to go to work, you know? And so I feel like I didn't get the job because I wasn't trying to, Ashley, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. She hit you with the sad face. But I wasn't trying to establish any relationship with my coworkers. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, go and go home. And I kind of gave them that energy like I don't care about establishing any office relationships. Like I just wanted and so like kind of the interview was going great until I basically said I didn't want to establish no relationships with anybody in the office. And I didn't say that, but like that's kind of they read my energy and they knew I was not for none of that. So I didn't get the position, and then they came back to interview me again and it was still the same energy. Anyways, long story short, when you go to work, don't talk and I knew not to. And God be trying to warn me ahead of time about stuff. That's the reason why, I don't even be feeling bad when stuff like that happens. Because, like, God already tried to tell me to stay away from said individual and to not be friends with these people. And I went ahead and did it anyway. And boom, now I'm popped. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so that's my TED Talk today. I hope that, my workplace mobbing, story has helped you guys. Go to work, just focus on the job, laser focus on the position. When somebody try to talk to you about something else, try to find your way back to the topic of the job. When somebody throws a spiritual attack at you to try to talk about something personal that only you and that person know, act dumb, act oblivious. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. They're gonna be like let's for example, everybody know that I'm the owner of the Excel catalog. Let my supervisor say, "Oh yeah," and I was looking at the Excel catalog. Now, mind you, none of my coworkers know what the Excel catalog is. I'm gonna be just like all of my coworkers and act like I don't know what he's talking about because I'm gonna focus on my job. For real, like you have to be oblivious, like act like you don't know what the heck they're talking. They hate that. That trainer at Medica, bro was so mad, like because he kept throwing these spiritual attacks at me, and then he'll look at me to see like if my facial or like to look at my my countenance, And my facial expression would never change. It would be like this smile. I'll always have like this smile on my face while I'm staring at him all bug eyed. He's just like, this chick just doesn't, she's immovable. So, but yeah, it was so much. It was so much, you guys. Workplace mobbing is it's a lot, but one thing it has done is motivate me to, start my own businesses, and and really really like care. It says yes. I will admit I played dumb just to test them. You gotta play dumb. Like, you gotta act like you don't know what they're talking about. Because everybody else in the classroom don't know what they're talking about during training. I don't know what you're talking about either, sir. For real, because we're not finna play with these people in 2022. We got goals to meet. It's, you know what I'm saying? Especially with that job. I was like, I had told my pastor, because at that time I was going to church. But even I was getting gang stalked in the dang on church. I'm like, Lord. And one of them was by a doctor. He was an African doctor. And the other person that was gang stalking me was a lawyer from Nigeria. She was a female. She was like biracial, which was crazy to me. She was so pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, why was she hating on me like that? It was like, dude, you're so beautiful. Like, what was wrong with you? But she just got really jealous of me. I low key kind of feel like everybody gave me a lot of attention in the church because I knew scripture kind of well. Like, I knew how to move around scripture. And so sometimes the pastor would have me like lead, Bible studies, and so I was getting a lot of attention because I was, a lot younger than everybody in the church, and I was kind of still, and so I ended up leaving the church because the church hurt, obviously, because I was getting gang stalked heavy by that African doctor. Buddy was on my team, and he was spiritually gifted too. Like, he was talking about my health, and he was like, yes, you African Americans just eat anything. You're not supposed to have this. Like, and so it's like, I feel like he was one of them rude messengers that the Most High was probably sending me, because the Bible talks about how, God will sometimes send a messenger that's really rude. And sometimes we be needing that, let's be real. So some people need somebody to kind of treat them so that they can really register what it is that the Most High is trying to get them to understand. Because God, like, he says everything's like so nice and calm and quiet, and it's just like, so he's so soft spoken with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he's trying to convey a message to you, it's like it's not as loud as you would think it is. That's why you have to get quiet and get into the secret place with God so you can really hear him. Like, when I pray, like, I calm my spirit down, I calm my mind down, my thoughts are calm. Like, it's you can't hear God if your thoughts are loud. You can't hear God if like, you got so many things going on in the background. Like, you really, really got to quiet yourself and center yourself just so that you can hear the Holy Spirit speak to you. Anyways, I'm talking about something totally else right now. But yeah, sometimes the Most High will send a rude messenger. So I left the church due to church hurt. And it's so crazy because my pastor really, he like, dang, he gave me $300, got me a whole car, which ended up getting towed that same night. So he had to go get it out of the impound. Like, he did everything he could to keep me at that church, and I could not. I was not staying there. Like, I was so tired of being gang stalked at church. So that's the reason why I don't go to church no more. But yeah, I should do a video on church hurt and gang stalking in the church. Oh Lord, don't even get me started on that whole story. Oh Lord. But yeah, y'all, we be going through it as chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it's this the price of the crown that we have to carry. It's a heavy crown. You know what I'm saying? It's a heavy crown, but we still got to wear it. And the goal of, and if y'all don't take nothing away from this, I want you to understand something, because this is something that nobody helped me understand. Okay, you are not at fault. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not cursed. There's not a stain on you. Okay? These people are paid. They are being paid, and there's a bounty on your head, a spiritual bounty on your head. Okay? These people are spiritually bankrupt. They've never had anything growing up. And so this is their way of a come up. Even if it means sacrificing you, they are going to come up off of you because they don't know you, so they don't care about you. Okay? There's literally nothing wrong with you. You're not mentally messed up. You know what I'm saying? You are fine. You are fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Ash, oh, I'm sorry, honey. But for real, there's really nothing wrong with you. Their goal is to try to tear you down. They're trying to break you down and make you feel like there's something wrong with you. You're not at fault. You know, what they're mad at is your heart. They're mad that you're a good person. They're mad that you carry a light inside of you that they'll never ever have by the route that they're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are jealous of you because God, the Spirit of the Lord is upon you. You know what I'm saying? They're jealous and they're mad. You know, so my best advice is you guys continue to pray. When I go into work on Monday, I'm be in the parking lot in my car, hands in the air, gospel music, worshiping, praying, Lord, give me the strength to endure so I don't have to say nothing slick to Susie and Kellyanne. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you have to do that. Pray. Pray. You have to pray. Ask the Most High to help you. You know what I'm saying? Ask the Most High to shut you up. And also, these are also spiritual tests for us to see how much we can endure and how far we've come. Because with every trial or tribulation that we have to endure, we actually grow from it. Like me back in 2013 or 2014 working at Aldi, you know what I'm saying, versus me now, I can deal with a lot in the workplace now. I will, if they crack a joke about me and start laughing, I'm laughing right along with them. They hate me. They hate me because there's literally nothing that they can do. Like, honestly, I piss people off so much because, like, I'll either laugh with them, like, it'll get to a point where my enemies always try to turn around and be my friend because everything that they try to do when they tried to come against me, it was to no avail. It always happens like that. And then they'll turn around and get mad at me again because I don't want to be their friend because they had me messed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a never ending cycle with our enemies. Oh my gosh. But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna cut it here. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, I'm gonna cut it off right here. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Ash Nicole, what are you laughing for, girl? I hope that I helped you tonight because you told me yesterday. I think that you said that it was you that had ended up letting your position go. Yeah, it's too much. I get it. Like, you're like kind of what pushed me to come live. I feel like I needed to. Hey, made another live. Oh, okay. I thought Taylor said she made one herself. I'm sorry, love. Thank you for coming to watch my live, Taylor. Zoe Jameson, thank you so much for coming to watch my live. You guys, I love y'all. Y'all are so dope. Y'all will just hop on this thing at 5 o'clock in the morning, like, dang. It says, love you too, and your video is so healing. I'm glad that it helped, for real, because, honey, something's got to give with these folks, for real. It really, really does. It really does. Anyways, I'm going to hop on here and try to squeeze in at least a couple hours of sleep before my kids wake up talking about, Mom, I'm hungry. For real. I'm probably going to make them some turkey because we don't eat pork. And so we have like turkey sausages. So I'm probably gonna make them some turkey sausage breakfast sandwiches with some eggs and cheese or whatever. I'm not in like a mood for pancakes because I don't feel like dealing with the pancake mess. So I'm gonna make it easy. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'm gonna talk to you soon. Y'all will in peace.